What is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, if you're returning, thank you for your continued support. And as you guys know, I really mean that. And also, as you guys know, we're going to jump right into it. Back again with yet another suppressor review video. This one's going to be over yet another Rampart Range Suppression suppressor. It is another Carson. This one happens to be the 5.56 version. If you don't know who Rampart Range Suppression is, I definitely suggest you take a look at Pew Science. The results just dropped on these things, and I believe this one is number 4 out of all the suppressors he's tested on a Mark 18. So the Tisha, as you guys saw that video, or some of you guys have, is number 1. This guy, number 4. Tisha map price is about 11 hundo. Map price on these now is about 7 hundo. I think technically it's 701 or something like that. But definitely a heavy hitter suppressor for the price tag. Now, speaking on heavy, that is one thing this suppressor is not. This guy is 3D printed titanium, as you guys may have seen in my 30 cal Carson video. This thing with the KAK Plan B hub is coming in at about 12 ounces. I will say, I have not shot this suppressor yet, just got it the other day, so I don't have any experience at all firsthand with the 5.56 one, and we're just going to test it out on some guns, and we're going to test it directly with one of my other favorites, which is the Exigent Fireteam. From my understanding, they're going to be very similar. If you guys watched my Exigent video and my Carson 30 video, you'll know that both offer just a little bit of extra back pressure. They're not quite as low back pressure as, say, the Thunder Beast Spyro or the Tisha, but it's nothing crazy, not like a traditional baffle stack can, and they both sound really good. I've been hearing good things. I have not personally heard this one yet, so let's just cut the chatter and get right into it. All right, as you guys know, normal procedure. We're right here at the berm, just gonna fire a few rounds, Mark 18. So, seeing about a little bit further back than 3 o'clock ejection. So it's really not changing my ejection much at all. The sound signature through Ear Pro sounds very, very good. And we're gonna move an ear back real quick, see what we think. Yeah, honestly, that sounds really good. Really, really good. The only complaint, honestly, that I have heard on this suppressor from a couple buddies I know that do have one is they do tend to have a little bit of a first round pop. Other than that, like we mentioned before, all the things are good. It's lightweight, it sounds good, blah, 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 blah. So let's unload this thing and we'll shoot the Exigent real quick before we move on to distance and stuff like that and see what we think compared to the Carson. All right, now we've got that Exigent defense on there. So, looks like back pressure is about the same. The Fireteam may have a little bit more, but we're talking about the Carson ejecting like 4:45, like just past 3 o'clock, and Exigent ejecting about right at 3. So not much difference between the two. All right, moving the ear back. That way I can get a good idea of the Exigent here on the Mark 18. I have to say it's pretty close. Pretty close. So, honestly, I think I'm gonna have to give the sound signature overall to the Carson. One thing I will say though, I never hear about the Exigent having a first round pop. So that is one thing I think the Exigent has going for it over the Carson. All right, doing what we normally do, directional mic off to the side. Okay, so I feel like that sounded quite good. It does make sense that it's rated number 4 on Pew Science on Mark 18. That thing sounds really good. But let's take a look at the rounds. We have a little bit of carbon, but honestly, to my recollection, we have less carbon on these rounds than we did with the Fireteam, and that checks out. Like we saw before, the ejection was a little bit further forward, meaning the carry velocity is a little bit higher with the Fireteam. Out here with the 14.5, I'm not going to test this on a bunch of different guns. I'm going to shoot the Exigent first to get an idea of that before we switch back over to the Carson. Let that Carson cool down a little bit before we try and take it off. But let's get an idea of what it's doing on the 14.5. So, barely further forward than 3 o'clock. And of course, it sounds great. So about 230-ish ejection, and still sounds really good. I have heard a lot of good things about the Carson and how it scales up and barrel length really well. But as we know, so does the Exigent. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two compare to one another doing that. All right, got that Carson switched over. Let's see what we get. So ejection is actually a little bit further back than 3 o'clock. We're seeing almost 3:30. Pop an ear back. Yeah, so lower back pressure definitely on the Carson. I still think the sound signature is roughly the same. I feel like the Exigent may have gotten a little bit better going up in barrel length than the Carson, but they both got quite good going up in barrel. But yeah, I think the gap between the two is a lot closer on this 14.5. So if parts of this video look different because it's a different day, I had another little equipment malfunction with my stuff. Not a big deal though. It gives me the opportunity to add some more footage in here and test some other things that I originally did not film. One of the things I wanted to check is one thing I'm noticing with the Carson 30. at least on AKs, is I'm getting an increase in accuracy, as well as sometimes on my AR-10. So I wanted to test this thing out, went out to my long range, and today I shot this group with the 75 grain Hornady, or the Frontier match. Not super great, it was maybe 2 MOA. Then I put the Carson on there, about the same thing, and then I printed this one here, and I threw one way out. But this one here is maybe a little over 1 MOA. So it's definitely not hurting accuracy. If anything, it is helping. And of course, after that, nothing else to do but to take it out to distance. I think I took the thing out at least 2.6. I'm pretty confident that I got a hit at 7, which is pretty good considering, you know, that gun, that 14.5 has 10,000 plus rounds on it. And yeah, I mean, it's not shooting, you know, dime-sized groups or anything, and are still able to connect out that far with a 4-power ACOG that's older than the gun easily. And actually, as luck would have it, as I was packing things up and getting ready to leave, a couple buddies showed up at the range. They had an unannounced, basically, little range day, and I wasn't invited, but that's okay. But my buddy Bird, if you would go follow him over at Bird Wagon, he actually has been looking into one of these Carsons, and he got the chance to try it out on his 16-inch build. Told you.
Pretty quiet. She's smart. She's smart.
All right, PMC X-Tech M855. So we're gonna start at 300. Easy hit. Go to 350. Easy hit. At 400. Super easy. Let's try 450. Easy hit again. Moving out to 5. Hit again. So as you guys saw there, I did run about 10 rounds each through the Mark 18 with the FRT, just to see if we were getting any gas coming through the charging handle on either one, which we did not. Also see if we had an ejection or rate of fire change. And honestly, the Exigent, maybe a little bit more. I want to say the Carson's ejecting about 330, and the Exigent is about 3, maybe 230. So again, a little bit more back pressure on the Exigent, but honestly, both of them sound really good on this gun. So all in all, I do really like this Carson 5.56 suppressor. I think it's fantastic, especially for its price point. The Exigent, even though it's not terribly expensive, it is a shade under 9 hundo, brand new. These guys at MSRP, they're about 750 ball hairs. So there's a little over 100 ball hairs price difference between the two. Another thing to mention, Exigent is, I want to say it's a little over 14 ounces without adding a mount, and the Carson is just a shade under 10 ounces before adding a mount. So the Carson is quite a bit lighter. That said though, I mean, we have to compare here. So the Carson is a good another inch or so longer than the Exigent. I believe it is a little bit fatter as well. The girth shouldn't bother anybody. But the length, if you got something like this and you're wanting to keep it still relatively short, Carson's definitely going to be a little bit longer. Keep your overall package length a little bit longer. Sometimes that's not a bad thing, but in this case, not always a good thing. But like I mentioned before, it's a little bit longer, a little bit girthier. Again, sometimes a good thing. And in this case, when we're talking about volume and stuff, it does quite well compared to this Exigent. Now, just like with the Carson 30, I was told that this thing is full auto rated. I still don't think it's going to hold up as much as something that is made out of Inconel. It's just the nature of the beast there. But Again, still being titanium and 3D printed, it's going to hold up to a lot more abuse than your traditional baffle stack cans made out of titanium. So overall, I don't know what gun I'm going to kind of leave this can on yet. That just remains to be seen. But overall, really like it. Does obviously extremely well on short guns like the Mark 18 and continues to get better as you go up in barrel length, just like the Exigent. So if you're wanting to ball out on a budget and you want that lower back pressure and good sound performance and everything, this is, I think, it's one of the best kept secrets. It's probably the best 5.56 can that almost nobody has heard of. As usual, if you guys have a question or if there's something that you feel like I didn't touch on or didn't touch on enough, you got some more questions, feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section. And if you stuck around this long, maybe consider liking, sharing, subscribing, all that good BS, because it does help me out. And as usual, hope to see you guys in the next video. And remember, it doesn't matter how fast you miss.